In the headlines, name of House leader missing as INEC presents certificate of return to members of 10th National Assembly. Commuters in Abuja groan over failure of online payment platforms. Fire razes 3 villages in Jigawa. And on the foreign scene, Somalia government says it is working to stop violence amid Somaliland tension. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And now the news in detail. Independent National Electoral Commission on Tuesday presented certificates of return to elected members of National Assembly. Senators-elect and members-elect for the 10th Assembly will be inaugurated in June this year. Noel Sampson reports.
Elected members of the National Assembly whose elections were declared by the INEC gathered at the International Conference Center for the ritual of presentation of certificate of return. Most of the elected members with smiling faces appreciated God and the voters for electing them to represent their interests at the upper chamber of the National Assembly. They set an agenda for the incoming 10th Assembly.
I am going to pay attention to persons with disability, youth and women, and also looking at some of the policies that FCT needs to access funds for health, education and agriculture. I intend to look at the well-being of the people. I am the representative of the people in the FCT.
My agenda is to tackle insecurity in my place. You know, the senatorial district is bedridden with a lot of security challenges, and I use my position in the Senate to make laws that will alleviate the security challenges of affected places in my senatorial district.
The 10th Senate is expected to be a very strong Senate that must focus on the people of Nigeria. This time that I have returned, I assure the Nigerian people that I will put myself in their service. All the things I will do in this 10th Senate will be for the benefit of the Nigerian people.
I have always believed and I remain convinced that a system works better when it delivers the greatest good to the greatest number. And as this time, the greatest number of our citizens are on the poor side. So I want to be part of a Senate that legislates for the good of the greatest number of our countrymen.
National Assembly elections in Sokoto State were declared inconclusive, as such as no winner is declared, just as senatorial election for Enugu East is postponed to March 11th. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has removed the name of embattled leader of the House of Representatives, Alhassan Ado Doguwa, as the winner of Doguwa Tudunwada constituency election. The returning officer, Professor Ibrahim Adamuya Kase, had earlier announced that Doguwa of the All Progressives Congress polled 39,732 votes to defeat his closest rival, Yushahu Salisu Abdullahi of the New Nigerian People's Party, who polled 34,798 votes. But in the list of members-elect released late Monday evening by the electoral umpire, Doguwa's name was conspicuously missing. During the remarks session, INEC stated that the declaration was made under duress. In a viral video of the returning officer declaring the results, the Don from Bayero University, Kano, could be seen reading out the results with shaky voice. The police had confirmed that at least 3 persons were killed, while the campaign secretariat of the NNPP in Tudunwada was set ablaze, with 2 persons burned to death during the crisis that broke out during the collation of the results of the Doguwa Tudunwada House of Representatives election, which Doguwa was eventually declared to have won. Doguwa was thereafter taken before a magistrate court on the charges of murder, arson, and unlawful possession of firearms, and was subsequently remanded in jail. But a federal high court in Kano on Monday admitted the embattled lawmaker to 500 million naira bail and barred him from his constituency during the forthcoming gubernatorial and state assembly elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission has suspended the Sokoto State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Noura Ali, with immediate effect. A statement from the Commission Secretary, Rose Olaran Anthony, on Monday, addressed to both the Resident Electoral Commissioner and the Administrative Secretary in the state, says Ali has been directed to stay away from the Commission's office in the state until further notice. While the reason for the suspension was not explicitly stated, it was gathered that the decision may be connected to the recent allegations of irregularities in the just concluded election in the state. The Administrative Secretary, Hajia Aliyu Kangiwa, has been instructed to take full charge of INEC in Sokoto State. The All Progressives Congress has briefed 12 senior advocates of Nigeria to defend the mandate of its presidential candidate Bola Tinubu in the just concluded polls. Tinubu polled 8,794,726 votes in 12 of Nigeria's 36 states, almost 2 million votes more than his closest rival, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, who came second with 6,984,520 votes, while the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, finished with the race third with 6,101,533 votes. But Atiku and Obi have rejected the outcome of the election, vowing to challenge the result in court. In a statement on Tuesday, APC National Legal Advisor Ahmed Usman El Marzouk released the 13-man list comprising 12 senior advocates. The legal team, consisting of 12 senior advocates of Nigeria and the national legal advisor of the party, Ahmed Usman El Marzouk Esquire, is led by Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, a renowned lawyer who has successfully handled various high-profile election matters and other landmark cases. Other members of the list are Ahmed Usman El Marzouk, Sam Ologunorisha, Rotimi Oguneso, Olabisi Shoyebo, Boyega Oyewole, Muritala Abdurrashid, Aliyu Meza Saiki, Tajuddin Ladoja, Pius Akubo, Olusheye Okpasonya, Suraju Saida, and Kazim Adeni. Residents of Abuja are finding it difficult to use commercial vehicles as drivers insist on cash payment because of persistent failures of online payment platforms. They called on the government to make the new currency available to ease their hardship moving from one location to another. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal reports.
Passengers have been finding it difficult to pay through online platforms owing congestion since the inception of the Naira redesign policy and the consequent cash unavailability in the country. Some passengers told Trust TV News that the bank transfer is working often, making it difficult for most of them to reach their various destinations on time.
There's a lot of hell experience because even this morning I think I begged about I think about 11 drivers to take acceptance of this transfer sheet. I have to trek down from the place I'm coming from to this place, and even with that you can see and I made transfer with this to this driver, and up to now I think he's not gotten any money. He haven't received the money yet. You can see the slip on my hand, and I have to wait. I've been here for about 2 hours or so, and it's very stressful. It's painful.
Actually, it's not about the issue of transfer. It's the network. There's no cash. There's no network. That's the challenges we're facing. But for people like me, actually, I don't go out to pay junction along with transfer. I make sure I get some cash from my neighbors, from friends who have shops, can be able to give me even 1,000 naira to manage.
Today, I wanted to travel, and then I don't have cash with me. And I want to transfer, and then I discovered that the drivers are not, almost all of them are not even collecting the transfer. And then it pains, but concerning the issue, it's not just like we are the causes or the drivers cause. We should not offend the drivers, neither should we offend ourselves. The cause is what the government has already done.
Commercial drivers also complain that the bank network is too slow, and most times they don't get the payment alerts from the passengers.
Some people don't even have money to enter transport. We normally help them free of charge. Now you heard this ask of transfer, even the transfer is not even going. So in fact, anything that the federal government would do to help us in this issue.
I'm a taxi driver. That's what we have been passing every day by day. And sometimes it's not you accept the transfer when you go to filling station want to buy fuel. Most of the filling stations, they are not even collecting ATM. Most of them, they will ask to say they are not collecting.
The fault is not from driver, it's not from the passengers. It's because of the situation on the ground. Now, some driver they collect, some will say no. Those that say no, is because I think you can see filling station now. It's not that there is no fuel, there is fuel. But those who are going with the ATM, they will block everywhere. You will want to buy fuel and go and carry a passenger and go, you will spend more 30 minutes or 1 hour.
Motorists asked the Central Bank of Nigeria to make the cash available and devise ways of making the online platforms function efficiently. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A fire has ravaged Malamawar, Dongoli, Karengi and Kwalele villages in Kiawa local government area of Jigawa State, destroying properties worth millions of naira. The fire, which started on Sunday, consumed houses, livestock, animals, farm products and other valuables in its path. Fortunately, no loss of lives has been recorded, but some family members are reportedly missing. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, DSP Lawal Shisu Adam, confirmed this in a statement. A team of firefighters and policemen from the state, federal and airport fire services arrived at the scene to combat the blaze. The director of the state fire service, Ibrahim Gumel, blamed the fire on burning of bamboos kept in the villages by unknown individuals. Gumel advised people to refrain from burning bushes and refuse centers near villages during the dry season. The affected villagers are now counting their losses as the inferno consumed everything in its path. The incident has left many families devastated and without shelter. The State Emergency Management Agency in Jigawa said the fire began because of heavy wind, which picks the fire from a local cooking stove to attached fence. On security and crime, Nigerian Army on Monday confirmed the case of a soldier who shot his colleagues and himself dead at Forward Operations Base, Araba, Sokoto State on Sunday. Director Army Public Relations Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu said in Abuja that investigations had begun into the incident. Nwachukwu stated that circumstances leading to the incident could not be immediately ascertained since the soldier who killed his colleagues also shot himself. He added that the General Officer Commanding 8th Division and Commander Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, Major General Godwin Mudkut, and other senior officers had visited the location. According to him, the GOC commiserated with the troops for losing their colleagues in such an unfortunate situation. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. How Katsina community gets classrooms. Stay with us.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update, a recap of our top stories. We told you that name of House leader missing as INEC presents certificate of return to members of 10th National Assembly. We also heard that commuters in Abuja groan over failure of online payment platforms. Moving to other stories, motorists in Abuja are groaning over recurring fuel shortage as queues resurface again in the nation's capital. Kabir Lawal reports that the queues are obstructing flow of traffic on the roads.
Fuel queues are motorist nightmares. Motorists spend hours at filling stations to buy fuel. Others who could not spare time buy from black marketers at prohibitive prices. Some Abuja residents expressed worry that fuel shortage has been a recurring problem that the authorities have failed to address. Some of the commercial drivers further told Trust TV News that they spent the night at the filling station to enable them get the fuel, a situation they described as unfortunate.
I spent not less than 3 hours. Not only that, yesterday, I slept in the filling station yesterday at Use 2. I did not get the fuel. They say after they say they have closed. So all of us will have to sleep that place. So one of my friends coming that this morning these people are selling. So that's why I come here. I've stayed up to 3 hours now. I've never seen food.
It's the queue. It's too much, and we don't have cash to buy fuel. Then we went there for us to use our card. Even the queue of the POS is too much. We can't afford it. Even the country is getting terrible. It's getting out of hand, honestly. Our federal government should know what to do about it because we, the poor masses, we are suffering. We can't even bear it.
I came all the way from Oyo State down to Abuja here, where we are finding it not easy. Like day before yesterday, when I left Oyo State, we are buying at the rate of 250 per liter. And now, some places here in Abuja, they say 250, 270. It's only places like Rano or some other places that we see cheaper. And the queue is much. And the stress is much. Even if you want to pay through your ATM card, sometimes it will be declined.
Man, it's very bad. As you can see right now, I'm at Rano, Utako, trying to get fuel. I just got here now. What I intend doing is to act as if I want to service my car so I can gain access to get the fuel. If you go in, you have to queue first for the fuel. Then when you now get your turn, you're not going to queue to use the ATM card, to use your POS, because there's no cash anywhere.
Passengers also complained that the scarcity has made transport fares to go up, making life unbearable for them.
It's not like something is reducing, like the means of transportation. CQ now, fuel, and you don't expect transport to be easy, like maybe affordable. It's still the normal price, rather it's even shooting.
They want the government to make petroleum products available to cushion the hardship being experienced by people. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On education, communities of Wawia and Walawal in Dutsi local government area of Katsina State will soon get a primary school. This followed a recent visit to the communities by Trust TV news crew, who reported the dire need for a primary school for their children to have access to education. Wawia and Walawal villages have been without social amenities over 2 decades after the return of democracy in Nigeria, despite their active participation in politics. Abdullahi Ahmadi completes the report.
At first, when Trust TV visited the area, children from the two communities were taking lessons in a makeshift classes, with residents calling on the relevant authorities to come to their aid.
Daga tun da aka kawo mu daga makuraɗiya abin da ya kawo yanzu mu ba mu amfana da komi ba.
Residents of the two communities of Wawia and Walawal are suffering absence of social amenities, especially school, roads, and water shortage.
To don haka muke bara ga Allah ga wannan gwamnati a taimake mu.
Residents of Wawia and Walawal are lucky as the Katsina State Primary Education Board heeds to their calls.
Class, stand up. How are you?
At a visit to the area, the chairman Lawal Buhari Daura gave assurances that the board will construct classes and provide teachers.
You have seen the number of children that are here that are not going to the school. And always we are fighting against children not going to school. It has to do with out of school children. We are always fighting on it. And that is why we are trying all those things. You can see even the class that they are in now is locally made, of which with time we are going to find a land for them, and I assure them, inshallah, we are going to construct a class for them.
Similarly, the senator representing Katsina North at the National Assembly, Ahmad Babba Keita, is constructing a block of 2 classrooms for the villagers. This means the communities can now boast of having at least a primary school as dividend of democracy since its return in 1999.
Godiya ga wannan gidan talabiji mai albarka wanda ya ziyarci garin Wawuya, Allah shi saka mai da alkhairi.
We sincerely appreciate this TV station for coming to our rescue, which, through your reportage, we are now considered for at least 1 primary school for our children. The number of school-aged children from these communities is unprecedented. We thank God. In the same vein, the construction of the primary school will greatly reduce the menace of out-of-school children bedeviling the state and the country as a whole. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Federal High Court in Lagos has fixed April 3rd for ruling in the trial of Assistant Superintendent of Police Drambi Vandi, who allegedly killed the Lagos-based lawyer Omobolanle Rahim on December 25, 2022 at Aja area of the state. The court fixed the date at the resumed trial on Monday. The trial of Drambi Vandi, who allegedly killed a legal practitioner on the 25th of December 2022, continued on Monday. ASP Vandi is standing trial for murder before Justice Ibironke Harrison of the Federal High Court of Lagos. At the resumed trial, the defense counsel Adetokunbo Dutola, in adopting his final written address in a no-case submission filed February 28, 2023, urged the court to dismiss the suit and discharge the defendant, claiming that he has no case to answer. Odutola argued that the ballistic report revealed that the gun did not match with the bullet that was shot. The prosecution, led by the Attorney General of Lagos State, Moyosore Onigbanjo, however, filed a response saying that the defendant should come up to defend himself in the case. The state government preferred a one-count charge of murder, contrary to Section 223 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015 against the defendant and arraigned him for the lawyer's death. After listening to the arguments, Justice Harrison adjourned the matter to 3rd April 2023 for ruling. On the foreign scene, Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud says his government is working closely to restore peace in its northern breakaway region of Somaliland amid heightened tensions between the region's authorities and local clan forces. Violence erupted after leaders of the Sul, Sanag and Kain provinces of Somaliland, which claimed independence from Somalia in 1991, announced their intention to rejoin Somalia. According to the UN, fighting broke out last month around the town of Leskanud in Sul, killing at least 80 people and displacing more than 185,000. In August last year, a few months after being re-elected for the second time, Mohamud declared an all-out war against Al-Shabaab, which has been waging a rebellion against the government since 2007. And finally, in sports, Flying Eagles of Nigeria's head coach Ladan Bosso says his team lost to Gambia in the semi-finals of the 2023 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations on Monday. Gambia secured a famous 1-0 victory over the Flying Eagles in Cairo to qualify for their maiden final. Substitute Ahmed Abdullahi had the chance to equalize for the Flying Eagles from the penalty spot, but saw his effort hit the post. He lamented that his boys failed to take chances and also missed the penalty in the 86th minute. The Flying Eagles and Tunisia will battle in the third-placed match. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.